3, 2. Do you mind keeping the sniffing to a minimum? We're live now. Good grief.
Just looking for some hair.
You looking for some Parmesan?
Parmesan?
I mean, some truffles. No one's got a better sniffer than you, Lewis. Yours is the best, hands down. All right, you want the tweet action, Lewis, before I go officially live?
Yeah, let's see what we
Here
got.
you go.
I'm so impressed that you can now edit your tweets.
And we're live.
Oh.
Isn't that magical? I see absolutely no one here yet, so either everyone hates us now, or or YouTube is being YouTube.
No one can stop talking about the State of the Union, man.
Oh yeah, hot topic. Dipsy D wants to know, did you get your HomePods yet? Oh, I have that big beautiful pair right here. I have my hands all over them, Lewis, over that big beautiful pair.
Have you tried them yet?
I have not. They're still in the box.
Dude, you are a
Hey!
I've heard that unboxing is popular, right? You should try it sometime.
No one wants to watch you unbox a HomePod.
No, just take things out of boxes. You don't have to record it. Just do it.
I'm going to be doing it in my video creation that I'm working on, and everything has to be done a specific way, Lewis. But yeah, sure. I got them right over here. They're right down there. We got Kenneth Roberts here saying hello. He got me to give one early. Shoot. I usually try not to let that happen. Only one hello per show. All right, Lewis. I think we got enough people here. Airphone sounds sick too. Yeah, guys, I apologize. I don't know what's going on with me. I think I have some kind of like head cold or something. So I'm gonna be coughing and wheezing a little more than normal. Oh yeah. So I'm not gonna do any HomePod talk today, but I'm working on that video for my triumphant YouTube return, and I'm excited. You know what I'm hoping though? I'm hoping that I don't listen to them and then realize, oh, these don't sound as good as the HomePods. Because that's
what I'm scared of.
That's gonna make for a very depressing video. Now I don't think that's gonna happen, but I am a little concerned that may be a conclusion that I arrive at. Because I'm not gonna shill from them. I mean, I love the HomePods, but I love them because they sound like two beautiful angels. If they sound like two, mid-pubescent middle school kids, we're gonna have a problem on our hands.
I read some of those, watched some of those influencer videos, and they're like, oh, well, it's really, I know it's going to sound great. It was just so obviously like literally Tim handed him the script. Yeah. It was come on. Do you really, I mean, I don't know. I hope they sound better or at least as good. I hope that you plug them in and you can't tell a difference. I don't care if they're better because I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be marginally better, but
I think
I
they
just don't want them to be
in a way where it would make them sound better. But
I just don't want it to be a pale imitation of the real thing.
Pale imitation. You're the master of wordsmithing. All right, well, we'll see how long we make it because I've got like this tickle in my throat.
Oh, great!
That I can't
we haven't even started.
That
and
I
you're
can't even
already
seem to get rid of.
Hacking up hairballs.
So I'm gonna try to do this as best I can.
Oh my gosh.
The hello might be missing a little bit of gusto this week.
Oh, no.
But we'll see. But Isaac Marquez is here, so that's all I need. Gwendolyn G is here. So glad you got your new HomePods. Oh, thank you. Not as glad as me. Let's see. Let's go ahead and queue up Mrs. You-Know-Who. And we'll get this thing rolling, okay? Oh, Mrs. D. Where are you?
Oh,
Mrs. D, are you okay? Oh, yes. Do you have COVID? Oh, no, I just made too much love to Leander Caney last night. Oh, God. Affected your voice? Wild shouts of passion, my dear. Wow. We're going to lose his face.
Dear.
Mrs. D, if you don't mind, can we just not talk about that kind of stuff? And ever again, really, if you don't mind. Let's get everything queued up and let's get this show rolling. We have a lot to talk about. Let's see here. We got the tweet out. Yes, indeed. Okay. We'll get going in 3, 2. Hello and welcome to CultCast, the best 30-minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Airphone Elijah. Join me today. You've heard that he has the golden ears, but did you know about his golden nose? Yes, sir, no animal on 2 legs or 4 can sniff around the forest floor faster to locate those coveted truffles. It's a lucrative side hustle that he has. He's also the managing editor of CultCast. Lewis Wallace is here.
Yeah, if I could find truffles, that would be awesome.
Oh, man.
Oh,
What a lucrative side hustle. You know, it's like they have all the pigs going around, and then all of a sudden, this guy on all 4s just comes tearing through the forest floor, pushing the pigs out of the way, locating every last mushroom.
some kind of werewolf.
A truffle is a mushroom, right? Is it?
It's a fungus.
Oh, it's a fungus. Okay. Well, so is a mushroom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's technically a mushroom. I mean,
Okay.
they're like little round fruiting bodies, I think they're probably called. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds accurate. Did you hear something strange, Lewis? Because your face contorted and you looked really confused for a moment, and I thought you were about to talk about the pops or the mob.
Well, it seemed like the volume was going up and down on the music. I didn't know if you were riding the fader or if it was. It
oh, you
seemed
know
like
me. I ride that fader, Lewis.
Okay.
I bring it down and I make people think that the show's ending, and then I pop it back.
I see.
Let's see here. Airphone, I barely see you wear your Apple Watch Ultra and AirPods Max. My Apple Watch Ultra, it rarely leaves my wrist. I wear it every single moment that it's not charging. It's one of my favorite Apple creations ever. Like, if I did a top 5, it might be in the top 3. I really just love it that much. All right, everyone, we got a whole lot of show for you all today. Unlike normal, where we're just scraping the bottom of the barrel and feeding you
Don't
the.
give up our secrets.
I think by now they know this. So we're gonna be talking about iPhone Ultra. Just when you thought the phone couldn't get better or more expensive, it's about to get both. We also have some mock-ups for you to look at. There's also a very exciting new feature that seems like it is going to be coming to iPhone, which is something that we've talked about in the past, and then kind of never really appeared. And now it looks like it's back, baby. And it's, I would say, in my as long as we're doing top lists, in my list of top 5 iPhone features I would say this is in the top 2. Does anyone make top 2 lists? It's like, here, just my top 2.
I guess it's still technically a list. If
I
there's
guess no
only
one
2
calls it a
items.
list at that point. It's just my top 2, yeah. Well, this is my top 2 list. It's definitely in there, and it's not number 1, but it might be close.
What's number 1? Nuclear reactor that keeps the thing going
Well,
around
that
the
would
clock
be
for months?
yeah, like eternal battery life. You just never have
Yeah.
to charge it. Charges off of human animation. So you strap it to Lewis when he is foraging through the forest floor looking for those truffles. Just think of all the kinetic motion that could be captured, you know? Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. Oh, we ditched this story. We have a big story. This is one of the most popular stories on the site. Apple execs reveal what really went wrong. What really went wrong with Intel. When I saw this story, I didn't really think very much of it, but apparently this was something that people found really interesting. And there were some Apple execs that did an interview and talked about why they decided to ditch Intel, which is like insider information that you wouldn't think would ever come out. So we'll regale you with that tale so you can impress all your friends with that story.
They also revealed the secret about when's the very best time to buy a Mac.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think I know the answer. I think I remember reading that part.
Yeah, I'm guessing you do.
I'm not gonna reveal it here though, because we gotta have something to capture them to the very end, Lewis. We gotta keep them to the very end. Let's see here. Before we dive in, let me go ahead and give a very hearty thank you. Where's my button? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah.
Where's my button?
Where's my button? To Electric Bikes for sponsoring this episode. Man, I've known about electric bikes forever. And when they approached us about sponsoring the show, I was like, oh, shoot, yeah. Like, I love electric bicycles. I'm familiar with what you all do. I know they make a high-quality product. And let me just ask you, Lewis. Let me ask you a serious question, Lewis. Let's get serious for a moment. A lot of people are stuck in their homes, their offices, their routines. Their lives are going nowhere, Lewis. Does that sound familiar?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't even imagine such a... Well, maybe.
I struck a little too close to home. You're wondering what else is out there, and you're feeling like there's an adventure out there that's just out of your reach. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to go to the adventure, but you don't really want to walk there. Well, now riders of all abilities can discover the local area or experience the freedom of the great outdoors with fun, fast, and foldable, key difference, electric e-bikes, I should say.
Yeah, I didn't want to, bust your chops.
It's an e-bike. That's an important...
Electric e-bikes.
Yeah, thank you. And Electric sent me an e-bike, and I was kind of surprised by its diminutive size. It's a compact but highly powerful bike. And when I saw the box, it said toolless assembly. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I've never assembled an e-bike that didn't require tools because usually they are. It takes a lot of time to put them together, and you kind of have to like be careful and read all the directions. Nope, not with the electric bike. You just pull it out and you unfold it, and you're ready to roll. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to get in your car. That's another big thing. It's like with e-bikes, usually they're so huge and so bulky that you can't put it on a bike rack or get it into your car unless you have like a special bike rack. And those special bike racks are extremely expensive, like usually $500-600. So not only is it portable, but it's incredibly powerful. They have the electric XP 3.0. It allows you to cover up to 45 miles on one charge and can reach up to 28 miles per hour. 28 miles per hour! For those of you that aren't familiar with e-bikes, that's about 8 miles per hour faster than most other e-bikes out there. That's screaming fast. It has a new quieter motor with increased torque for more power and less noise.
Torque.
I know you're a big fan of torque. Optimized gearing and added suspension create their smoothest ride ever, even at higher speeds. It has a stronger rear rack, which supports everything you need for day-to-day rides or longer trips. And you can customize your ride with new accessories like the Elite Headlight Yep seat, which is a seat that I have. I actually love that seat. Or a passenger package that can hold up to 150 pounds right on the back. Look at that. Look how compact that bike is. And you can just bomb around your city or your town. And no joke, like you could honestly, if you don't have to drive a lot, this could replace your car. But the best part is this bike that you're looking at, this XP 3.0, is only $999, which is a good $500-600 less expensive than other similar spec'd e-bikes. It's a really great value. So if you're interested in retiring your car, at least in a lot of different scenarios, for the escapades you have around town, this is a really fantastic option. You can visit electricbikes.com. That's electric, Lectric, I misspelled it. I got to try again. Electric e-bikes. I keep forgetting the E. Lectricebikes. Electricebikes.com. And check out their various different models. All right. Thank you to Electric for supporting this episode. All right, Lewis, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about, as I look for these show notes, the iPhone Ultra, Lewis. I know that you're a Max man, but you're always ready to go bigger. You're always ready to be bolder.
Yeah, right. I need one that's large enough to serve a meal on.
Well, if you want something that has the best of specs and also can be used to serve your Thanksgiving dinner, you have your new model right here.
The iPhone Ultra.
The iPhone Ultra is here to serve you. So let me take a swig of water real fast to keep my throat coated. For those of you that didn't catch the pre-show, I got a little bit of a head issue going here. Some throat issues. So if I have a few extra coughs this episode, I apologize. Sorry, Lewis, what were you going to say?
Well, Tim Cook told investors that consumers seem to be willing to pay up for the best iPhone available.
That was my favorite part of the story, actually.
Huh?
That was my favorite part of the story. Was TC saying, "Oh, well, we know that they're willing to spend more, so let's make one and take that extra dollar."
It's such a great quote. I think people are willing to really stretch to get the best they can afford in that category.
Yeah, precisely. And they're like, "What's that on the sides of your mouth?" And it's just drool coming out of his mouth as TC imagines all that extra profit.
I mean, he does make a good point, though. iPhone has become integral to people's lives. I mean, I can't think of anything else that seems so, like, Oh my God, I can't go anywhere without it. I mean, it could almost be strapped onto my bicep or implanted into my chest or something. iPhone is just with you at all times. Anyway, so now Apple is supposedly working on an iPhone Ultra that could debut when? Next year. Next year, 2024. Uh, this is a report from Mark Gurman talking about internal discussions about making an even more premium iPhone and this would sit above the Pro series supposedly. So you'd have the Pro, you'd have the which is by the way big enough, the Pro Max, which by the way is gigantic and too big to handle, and then there'd be an Ultra model that might be even bigger and would definitely have something premium. The big question is like, what is that premium thing? Is it? I've seen some people speculating like, oh, it could be Apple Pencil support. I'm like, really? That's it? No, I don't
That's
think
the
so.
thing is like, what's that big premium feature gonna be? I really don't know. I mean, I'm about to talk about a feature here in a little bit that would be exciting to me, but I don't know if it would be exciting enough to me to pay an extra couple $100 for an ultra model of the phone.
Yeah, if they had well, it's weird because right now they're all rumors we've heard lately are that this year's iPhone, the Pro Max model,
Mm-hmm.
might come with a titanium shell and might come with a periscope lens, right? When I first heard this rumor about the Ultra, I thought, oh, that's going to be the periscope model. But then reading on, it's like, oh, well, no, the periscope's supposedly coming this year, and so, I don't know. I don't know how that's all going to shake out because that kind of sounds like something that would be ultra, right? A pop up periscope that gives you like, you know, 20x optical zoom or something.
What if it's we got Level Remix in the chat saying 3-day battery life. What if this was akin to, so I'm showing some mock-ups here for those of you watching. So these are not, actual, leaked images of the Ultra or anything like that. It's just some guy's idea of what the Ultra might look like, and he basically redesigned the iPhone to make it look more like the Apple Watch Ultra. And what if they basically adopted the design to make it look a little bit more utilitarian, a little bit more beefy, increase the battery life, change the design to be a little bit more manly, and had a really cool, unique aesthetic.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
actually really like those
I do
mock-ups.
too. I do too. I don't. I'm not a fan of this stupid orange button that they
I
added
love the
to it.
orange.
I don't. That's the one thing about the Apple Watch that I actually don't love. The Ultra is that orange button. I could do without it. Because for me, but I guess maybe I'm different. Because some people maybe buy the Ultra for its additional features, but I bought it almost purely on aesthetic. So for me, the aesthetic of it is everything, and I just don't love the orange button. I wish they would just get rid of it,
But it's
or
so
maybe make it
action
something.
oriented.
I know, and maybe when you're underwater at 100 meters, that's important. But
Well, Leander said he uses his all the time. He used it to just start his, outdoor biking workout.
really,
Yeah, he said he loves it.
huh? I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love the Ultra button too. I just don't love the color. So I use mine for flashlight mode, which actually might change because I noticed that I accidentally turn the flashlight on my Apple Watch Ultra all the time. So I do use it. I just don't like that they made it orange. It's the same thing where I don't like that stupid red ring they put on the
Oh,
on like the
right.
series watches where it indicates it has cellular connectivity because the red clashes with the body of the actual body of the Apple Watch and all the different straps. So and like same with this. It's like orange clashes with so many other colors that it's like an aesthetic mismatch to me. I can't I just can't get over it. So thankfully it does match the oh god, which this is the Alpine Loop, which is such an outrageously great Apple Watch strap. I really can't believe how in love I am with this strap. It's beautiful. It fits me perfectly. I actually don't mind this big titanium loop that's on or clasp that's on the side,
Like
and the whole
it,
thing just looks so good together. Yeah,
and it's really been coming in handy on your alpine treks, right? You've been spending
yeah.
a lot of time hiking the mountains. Do you have one of those alpine horns that you take with you on those hikes?
I keep it on a rope that's
I
over
see.
my back, and when I reach the apex, I go so everyone knows that I made it to the top. And this little titanium clasp here, it's load bearing. So if one of my climbing ropes get severed, I can rig 2 ropes together with this single clasp and then swing
I
across
see.
the apex
Potentially
peak.
life-saving. So many
Yeah.
life-saving features of the app.
Well, yeah, because I usually, well, if I get stuck or someone else gets stuck, I'll swing across with the rope tied to the other rope, and I'll grab the person who is stuck, and then I'll swing them back to the peak. So it is not just beautiful, it's also functional. We're getting off track, Lewis. We're getting off track. Where were we? Oh, that's right. Apple Watch Ultra. I mean, the question, though, is what's the marquee features going to be? Because we don't know. We just know that they're working on something like this because TC doesn't want to leave any profit on the table. And
The only feature we're really sure about is a higher price tag.
I would venture to guess maybe a larger screen, but that's right. That's all we know at this point. And you know what, Lewis? Maybe all it will have is a different design and a few extra software features.
What if it was actually a smaller design? But it was like
I don't
thicker.
think so.
Huh?
I don't think so. I think it would have to be big because people just love big phones, man. The bigger, the better. I mean, honestly, if they released the Ultra and the iPad Mini suspiciously disappeared around the same time and they just said they're not going to make it anymore, and suddenly we had like a suspiciously similar iPad Mini looking iPhone Ultra, that wouldn't surprise me in the least. Let's see, who made these mock-ups? I want to give him credit. I'm going to guess his name is Jonas Dainert. It's either Jonas or Jonas. I don't know. But these mock-ups look really good. I wouldn't mind if the phone actually looked like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks awesome, man. And I do like the ports. One thing our little write-up labeled that thing as a Lightning port. Surely that's a USB-C port.
It looks like a USB-C port. And by the time this phone actually comes to fruition,
It's all there's going to be.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably will have to be a USB-C port. Well, let's talk about one feature that I hope comes to fruition.
Like the number 2 on your list?
It pains me to go to this website. But here I am on 9 to 5 Mac. And they got
an exclusive.
They got an exclusive did they say they actually had a source, or was this an exclusive they're just pondering, an exclusive ponder?
No. There's a somebody said something.
An exclusive somebody said something. Okay, well, according to 9 to 5 Mac, iPhone reverse wireless charging development is continuing. Excuse me, pardon me. Apple is continuing its work on full reverse wireless charging support for iPhone. Despite engineering delays, 9 to 5 Mac has heard from sources familiar with the matter that Apple had hoped to debut the feature in iPhone 14 Pro lineup, but failed to meet that deadline. Nevertheless, sources that indicate Apple engineers are pressing ahead with the development of bilateral wireless charging alongside optimizing software optimizations for it. So if you recall, was it the iPhone 14?
I think this was talked about
No.
like at least the 12.
Yeah. So the iPhone 12. The iPhone 12 was when they debuted the MagSafe battery pack, that turd of a product. And if you recall, it allowed you to attach the battery pack and plug in your phone to charge, and then your phone would actually charge the battery pack, even though the battery pack wasn't plugged into anything, through the back of the iPhone. So that functionality has been in the phone, but they never enabled it for any other kind of charging. But think how cool it would be to be able to charge your AirPods on the back of your Apple Watch. That would be massively practical.
Back of your Apple Watch.
Or the back of your, well, that would be cool.
Wow.
That would be cool too. On the back of your iPhone Ultra, for your $2,000 iPhone Ultra. And I don't think this would happen. This is like serious pipe dream, but how cool would it be to charge your Apple Watch Ultra on the back of your iPhone Ultra? Now that would be the dream. And maybe they would even add this to iPad. So if you brought your iPad and your iPhone and your AirPods somewhere, you just flip your iPad over and now you can charge your iPhone and your AirPods on the back of your iPad. Like that would be bonkers. Like that would just be so useful. There's so many different chargers and cables and bricks and everything that you have to bring everywhere with you now that I feel like that would actually be a widely useful feature for most people. What do you think about that, Lewis?
A tower of wireless charging, heating up.
turn it into molten. I was like, what's that? What's that bright red stuff coming out of my lightning port?
Yeah, no. Oh my God, did you hear the thing about like a plane had to get diverted and landed because a laptop caught on fire on it? These lithium batteries, man, and all this charging stuff. I mean, we're carrying around a lot of power in all of our pockets, right? And it's kind of crazy. I would love to be able to charge AirPods on an iPhone. That would be great. I wonder though if you remember what, what was it called? The airport
Are you talking about
air
the AirPower
power, air
mat?
power. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Remember they had a little problem. Apple had a problem with that, and it's never been
Oh,
exactly
come
explained
on.
why in the world that one didn't come
That
to
whole thing
be.
was so overblown. I mean, sure, did it capture or did it spontaneously light on fire every once in a while? Yeah, but it's never stopped Samsung from shipping a phone.
It, yeah, it's weird that Apple seems to have these problems, right? I mean, why? How in the world did they announce that? I keep forgetting the name of it, AirPower, and then just give up. I mean, I guess it's a little like just giving up on the HomePod, and now after years of tinkering, they're like, oh well, we actually figured out something to do. So I don't understand why Apple's engineers can't figure this stuff out. It doesn't seem like an unsolvable problem, does it?
You know why, Lewis? Because I think that Apple has too much going on. I really think that's it.
Think that's it?
They're just doing so much stuff now. Like, didn't when Steve Jobs returned, didn't he famously cut out like some high volume of products from their product offering, and he said
Well,
he wanted everything to fit on one table.
yeah. Well, they had. I mean, it was ridiculous right back then. You know, if you think about how many people Apple has on their payroll, I mean, there's got to be plenty of people, doesn't there?
No, I think that
You think they're
engineering.
stretched thin?
I think that they probably are. I think that engineering is the perennial problem for any tech company. There's just not a lot of people who can do this stuff. Not nearly as many as they need, and they're all being sniped by other tech companies. They're moving from here to there, and then you have like the startup costs getting them trained up to do stuff. And Apple has so many products now. I mean, think how many different iPhones they have, how many different iPads, how many different Macs, how many different Apple Watches, and then all of the other software that they're working on. Now all the services that they're doing. I mean, they have their hands in everything. Now they're developing their own modems. They're developing their own silicon. It's like they're just doing everything. Trying to do everything themselves. And so I think that engineering resources is an issue for them. Just like it is with any tech company. I could be wrong, but it does seem like that. It does seem like they have to move engineers from project to project depending on what their priorities are. You know, all I'm saying is I'm not going to be beta testing that Apple car. I'm going to let that one get a few software updates
Jeez.
before I go riding around in that car. Oh yeah, and then we got Norbert in the chat saying, and now the upcoming headset is taking a priority. And that's true. They're trying to get that thing out the door, right?
Yeah, that's true. The number of people that they've supposedly had working on both that and the car are just pretty outrageous. Yeah, so maybe like there's just like, you know, two guys in a little cubicle trying to figure out how to make the reverse wireless charging. And you know, in the meeting they're like raising their hands like, "Oh, well we thought," and they're like, "Yeah, come on. We're trying to get a headset and a car together here, buddy."
And they don't have Steve Jobs in there screaming at everyone at the top of his lungs, which is a hugely motivating factor, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
just have the squint.
You look up and you just see TC. He's 100 yards away and he is behind like a corner and his head's just popping out and he's just squinting at you. Like those two daggers are looking at you. And that's scary, but then he's like, and he's gone, right?
I really thought we would have I could just hear real passive aggressive thing. I really thought we'd have reverse wireless charging on the iPhone by now. Squint.
It would have been an important move for your career and your life, y'all. And he's so squinty, you're like, I can't tell if he's awake saying that to me or if he's sleeping right now. Is he sleep talking?
And then you get a text message from Apple HR saying you can pick up your stuff.
And then you go to pick up your stuff and there's no one in the room but you and Tim. The lights are low. And you're like, what is he holding that piano wire? That piano wire ends up around your neck. And that's how you get retired from Apple. Lewis, should we talk about the giveaway?
You're done talking about the wireless charging? I guess
That's
so.
it, man. I mean, yeah. How much more can I talk about wireless
it's
charging?
True. The exclusive scoop was pretty much just somebody saying, yeah, they're still working on it. So
That's a scoop.
yeah,
That was a
we don't
scoop
know
for it.
how many people or when it might show up or whatever,
Just
but
eventually.
it's. I guess the headline should be wireless reverse charging, reverse wireless charging on iPhone not dead yet.
May still be happening.
Could
That's the
happen
headline.
someday.
Lewis is a stickler when you got unnamed sources and you're just talking about things when you're speculating. Lewis, not a big fan of speculation. But according to this,
Speculation's fine, just it is what it is.
okay. Well, I'll tell you what's not speculating is that if you go to cultamac.com right now and enter the giveaway, you got a chance of winning a great product. That's not speculation.
We do mean right now, though, because this giveaway is ending. By the time this podcast come out, the clock is ticking. I think you'll have like maybe 24 hours to get in on this.
And no joke, when I was at the gym and I was at the squat rack and I had about 645 plates on either side and I had so much weight, my legs were just, the veins popping out were off the chart. Like I was just flexing, doing these weights, and I thought to myself, you know what I would love right now, Lewis, and this is serious talk right here, is I would love to try one of these MagSafe iPhone Anywhere stands so that I can mount my iPhone to the squat rack and watch YouTube videos or maybe record my form and post it to TikTok.
Yeah. Recording your form might be better than watching videos. I don't think you want to be watching YouTube videos while you're lifting weights. You need to concentrate on the iron.
What are you talking about? I watch YouTube videos all the time, but the problem is that you can't mount your phone anywhere. So usually I just leave it on like the bench or something while I'm impressing everyone with the sheer amount of weight that I can lift.
This sounds like a recipe for poor form and potential injuries.
I've perfected the form part of it. So that part I don't have to worry about. And so what I like to do is, and I told you about this case I used to have that had a magnet built in. It was like MagSafe before there was MagSafe. And it would allow you to stick your phone to metal objects. And when I heard about the case, I was like, I don't know if this is a gimmick. But I tried it and I was like, dude, this is so hugely useful. Like just being able to stick your phone to things that are metal and then look at your screen while you're doing stuff. Like if you're working on the car, you can stick your phone somewhere and you can see the video as you're working on your engine or something. I mean, there's a lot of practical uses for this. And so I'm hoping that you'll get me one of these so we can talk about it in a future show.
Yeah, it's just funny you mention that because I was, have you heard of Zugu cases?
I don't think so.
They've advertised in Cult of Mac. They make these iPad cases that are magnetic, and it's the same thing. You can just like put your iPad on your refrigerator or whatever. And people apparently love that feature. Anyway, so the power of magnets, right? That's what we're talking about, and that's what you get with this week's giveaway. It's the Orbit Universal Magnetic Stand from Switch Easy. We're giving away, I believe, 3 of these things.
Okay.
I'm not actually.
Yeah, I mean, two, right? You're giving away 2. One of them's already spoken for.
So it's multifunctional stand, works with any MagSafe compatible iPhone. Lets you mount that phone anywhere. Like you put it on your desk. Like you have a little thing where you put your phone on the desk and you can,
oh man, I love it.
You're into that, right?
Yeah.
You could attach it to your monitor and use it as a continuity camera. You can even attach it to your car's dashboard. It's got like a 3M sticker on the back of the thing.
Don't forget the squat rack.
If you want to do that. Squat rack was not mentioned in the specs, but I'm sure
they should add it.
Let's see. So you can, the great thing about it, you can elevate, you can rotate it around, you put the screen at whatever angle you want. Made of aluminum with a faux leather pad that makes it all soft and comfy there for your iPhone.
Look how small it folds onto itself too. Look at that.
It's ultra portable folding design. Makes it small enough to slip in your pocket. This thing weighs 2.8 ounces. It's tiny. So go to the homepage, cultamac.com, scroll down, enter. You'll see a big thing that says win a stand. Win a supreme stand that mounts your MagSafe iPhone anywhere. That's what you're looking for. And the words Cult of Mac giveaway, which is how we label the Cult of Mac giveaways because we're straightforward like that. You click that link, you go there, you enter. There's a bunch of things, bunch of ways you can enter. I think You can get 5 entries in this giveaway. It's all free. If you like that item and you don't happen to win, you can buy one from the Cult of Mac store. We got them for sale there, $39.99.
And again, the thing that makes this unique to me is that it has magnets on both sides. So like I have one of these little stands that I love. I just got it on Amazon, and it has MagSafe on this stand, right? And so I can keep this on my desk, and I can see my phone all day, and I can like move my phone all around and stuff, right? But like on the Switch Easy one, it has magnets on the bottom side too. So now you could magnet this to something and have your phone, on the other side, which is what makes it so unique. Very cool, Lewis. See if you can get me one of these. Get me one of these ASAP, Lewis.
I've got a request in for a review unit for you. We shall see if you're worthy.
Well, I got bad news for everyone else thinking about entering. Mark T's in the chat, and he says he's going to win. The odds are in his favor, and that's true. You got Well, all I'm saying is you got a chance to win one of these.
I feel like I should give the exact name of the product one more time. It's a Orbit Universal Magnetic Stand from Switch Easy, and Switch Easy makes a ton of great accessories. We sell a lot of their stuff in the Cult of Mac store because it's interesting and well made.
Oh, and we should say store.cultamac.com. Store.cultamac.com.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I also want to just take a quick moment and thank Squarespace for supporting this episode, who has everything you need to sell anything. I should know because I sell the very exclusive premium grade Cult Cloth, and I use Squarespace to set up my store, and it just couldn't be easier. And maybe you want to sell a physical product. Maybe you want to sell a digital product. You can do both. Maybe you got that hot single that you're ready to sell. You could do that on Squarespace. And it's just as easy as 1, 2, 3. You create a website. You select from one of their beautiful website templates, designer fonts, color palettes. You just select everything, drag and drop. Everything's so easy to build. You don't have to know how to code or anything. You can explore which tools you want to add. If you want to set up an online store, booking services, or adding your favorite third-party extensions, you can get all that stuff set up. And then they have all the tools that you need to market your business too. That's step 3. Stand out in every inbox and social feed. On-brand email campaigns and social tools make it easy to retain customers and grow your audience. Or maybe you just want to create a simple website, something that highlights your skills or services to potential employers. You can do that too with a one-page impactful website it just has a giant photo or a video in the background. They really let you do it all, and it's all included with your Squarespace subscription. And if you're ready to try it out, head to squarespace.com/cultcast, squarespace.com/cultcast. I always just tell people, just build a website. Go in there, use their website building system. It's super easy to use. You can do everything yourself. You won't need any help, but if you do, Squarespace has like great 24/7 support. Build a website, see how you like it, and at the end of your trial, if you like what you have, you can use code CultCast at checkout to get 10% off your first purchase. I do a year of service at a time, which gets you an additional discount. It's an even better value, and you can get the 10% off that as well at squarespace.com/cultcast. Use code CultCast at checkout to save 10% on your first purchase. All right, Lewis, I think we're on to our last story now.
Wow.
We're cruising.
This is like record time.
I know. We also don't have a lot of stories this week, so that's also helpful. Let's move on. Apple execs reveal what went wrong with Intel. Now, I thought this story was interesting, and before I tell it, I gotta wet my whistle. You know where the origination of wetting your whistle came from, Lewis?
No.
Wasn't it in jolly old England? They had these whistles built into mugs, and you'd have to blow on them to let people know that you're ready for another ale.
You're kidding me.
I'm like 86% sure that's true. Yep.
Really?
Yep. And so to wet your whistle is get your mug refilled.
I think that's not a bad idea. I think it's time to bring that back.
Although,
Mugs with whistles.
Although if you think about doing that now, it would just be a bunch of drunk idiots blowing whistles at the top of their lungs all night long.
Kazoo army.
Yeah, LK would know. That's true. If only LK were here, he would tell us the whole history of wetting your whistle because he does it so often. All right, let's talk about why Apple ditched Intel. What really went wrong with Intel. This is actually an interesting story. So, what pulled Apple away from Intel? In a new interview, Apple executives Tim Millett and Bob Borchers reveal why the company shifted to making its own Mac chips. Plus, they shed light on what they're doing to make the Mac a gaming platform once again, which had me with a very exuberant chortle. So, quote, once again, or wait, sorry, quote, once we started getting to the iPad Pro space, we realized that, there is something here. Who was this? This Millet that told TechCrunch. Indeed, the enormous capability of the iPad Pro led many on the outside to speculate if Apple can build a largely battery-powered device in such a thin enclosure without any active cooling that exceeds the power of the MacBook Pro. Imagine what the same chips could do with more cores, more space, and more cooling in a Mac. So essentially, they got so good at building iPhones that the iPhones started using those chips for iPads, and then those iPads ended up being more powerful than the Mac, and they're like, what are we doing? So they kind of stumbled into building their own Macs again just by getting good at building iPhones, and they made them so powerful that they were able to move that power into the iPad platform and eventually into the Mac platform as well. Let's see here. Back to the story. Quote, we wanted to have the ability to build a scale of solutions that deliver the absolute maximum performance for machines that had no fan. For machines that had active cooling systems like our Pro class machines, Millet said, Apple knew from the beginning that it wanted one solution that could scale across its entire product line. Optimizing performance per watt helped Apple do just that. And that's exactly what they're doing now, right? They have the one system, and now you just choose your form factor. It's like, oh, you want the M2? Do you want it in a computer with no display, a la the Mac Mini? Do you want it in an iPad, something that just has a screen? Do you want it in a Mac with a battery and a screen attached to it? So now they just take the same SoC and they put it in all of these different devices. Unfortunately, I think what they also do is nerf performance so that they can't squeeze every last drop of performance. So you would think that an iPad would perform with an M2 would perform worse than a MacBook Pro with an M2, or a MacBook Air. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works, because I think Apple makes sure that the performance is the same across all the different platforms. Now, here was one of the other problems with Intel. The story goes on. So Apple was essentially pushing Intel to be innovative and to create these chips that would be cutting edge in their computers, right? But the problem is after these chips would be shipped in Apple products, Intel would say, oh, shoot, we got this great technology. Why don't we sell it to PC manufacturers too? And that's exactly what happened. So Apple would release these computers, and then shortly after that, the PC equivalents would come out using the exact same technology that Apple pushed Intel to make. And of course, the folks at Apple were none too happy about that. And there's a specific example here. Let's see. The MacBook Air was a product Apple could never have built with the older yet required PowerPC architecture. But even Intel had to be pushed into the form factor, as it required a custom-designed, shrunken-down version of the Core 2 Duo chip. A few years later, Windows PCs copying the MacBook Air's design began to hit the market, running the same Intel processors. So there you go. Apple stumbled their way into creating Apple Silicon again and realized that they were out Intelling Intel and didn't want to share their spoils with PC makers. What do you think about that, Lewis?
Oh, I love that quote. Our competitors' products benefited from that interaction as well sometimes.
That interaction.
That interaction, yeah.
What you can't see is, as he's saying that, his fist is white because he's squeezing it so hard, like a drop of blood comes out of the bottom of his hand as he digs his nails into his hand. The other thing I want to say is this Tim Millet? I think it is in this picture here. This guy's in great shape. How come all the execs at Apple are so skinny? Have you noticed that?
They probably have fantastic dining options. They go down to the lunchroom and it's not like, oh, here's some pizza and here's some, it's going to be like, the best sushi and all this great stuff. Plus, Apple probably gives them plenty of time to like walk around the campus and, they're just living the good life, man.
And TC probably requires they stay in top physical condition. I mean, this guy looks like he could probably bench 200 easy.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to run into him at in a dark pub. You know,
Well, you won't, because this guy's not setting foot in a pub, Lewis.
look at that fist he's got there. Actually, in that
Yeah.
screenshot, he kind of looks like a boxer.
I mean, look at that. Look at that look he's given to the camera too.
Maybe it's just
It's,
an unfortunate screenshot. Maybe he doesn't look like that all the time, but he looks like he's gonna
I
wail
don't
on
know,
someone.
man. That guy looks like he's built like a wire. It looks like he's ready to throw down. Anyway, I digress. Here's the other part of the story that I thought was interesting. Apple is still interested in gaming and making Mac a gaming platform. I kid you not. I didn't realize that this was something that they did in the past. I was watching some old Apple footage from Macworld, and they used to pit gaming performance of Mac against PC. Did you watch any of those videos, Lewis?
No.
Yeah, so they actually would go on stage, and there was one example where Phil Schiller came up with Steve Jobs, and he's like, check out the gaming performance, Steve. And they would boot up a game, and they would show the game loaded faster on the Mac. And then at the end of the gaming test, the Mac would have more FPS than the PC. And apparently at some point, they've given up on gaming. I mean, I think Halo, the legendary Halo, I think it was a Mac game when it first came out. I think Bungie made that on Mac before they made it for PC. Are you going to look it up?
I am,
Are you
because
gonna
it sounds
Jamie
hard
my-
to believe.
Are you going to Jamie my Joe Rogan here? Look that up, Lewis. Pull that up, Lewis. I'm pretty sure that's true. I think it was a game for Mac.
Huh. Halo was originally introduced by Steve Jobs as
you
a
go.
Mac exclusive.
Wow, okay, I didn't even know that.
Wow.
So, and it was built by Bungie, right?
I don't know.
Nah,
I mean, yeah, it was, but that's who came out with it, right? Yeah. So this is the
think so.
Jobs quote from Macworld Expo in '99. We are starting to see some great games come back to the Mac. Back to the Mac. This is 1999. But this is one of the coolest I've ever seen. This game is going to ship early next year from Bungie, and this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. There you go, Halo. I did not know that, and I'm frankly shocked to hear it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it was a Mac exclusive. So anyway, all that to say that Apple has a heritage in gaming, and apparently they're trying to get themselves back into gaming. So I'm going back to the story here. Let's see. There we go. You can look at Tim Millett's menacing grimace and his peak physical condition here. These days, Apple puts a renewed emphasis on gaming in its product marketing. That used to be a staple of product introductions. Yeah, we already talked about that part. Gaming on PCs, meanwhile, has exploded, obviously. If Apple wants a piece of that pie, it faces a classic chicken and egg problem. The company has an uphill battle to court both AAA game developers and serious gamer customers. Well, I think the problem is definitely gaming fans. Like, no one takes Mac seriously as a gaming platform. And also because gamers are tinkerers, man. Like, gamers love to buy and build the components of their PC and just build everything together and pick out which CPU they want, which GPU, and the new M1 architecture. In fact, I just saw a story yesterday that says the Mac Pro isn't going to allow for external GPUs because of the M1 architecture or the M2 architecture. They have to have the GPU built in the system on a chip. And so the Mac Pro, which they released as being a machine where you could swap out components like a traditional PC, is probably no longer going to allow you to do that. And so you're going to be stuck with the GPU you buy when you buy the machine. I mean, that's a gaming killer right there. I think that most people, like me, will build a gaming PC like the Colt Commander, and my CPU is like 3 or 4 years old, but I just bought a new GPU for it, which gave it a brand new life because the GPU is like the heart of your gaming experience. And you can't do that on a Mac, so that's gonna limit who's gonna be interested in gaming on a Mac. So Tim Millett's he has no delusions about this. He said, quote, "I don't think we're going to fool anybody by saying that overnight we're going to make Mac a great gaming platform, but we're going to take a long view on this. Yeah, it's going to be real long. Apple is collaborating closely with game studios to make sure its Metal API offers everything they would ask of it. Of course, that's not the problem. The problem is no one wants the game on a Mac. We worked hand in hand to make sure that they were going to have all the tools that they needed to accelerate APIs, to accelerate the important APIs that we're going to deliver to companies like Capcom. Yeah, so you'll get the game developers interested in it because it's Apple, but the truth is are they going to be interested in it if no one wants the game on a Mac? I mean, that's the thing. Like, you got to make the gamers interested in gaming on a Mac again, and until you have a machine that gamers are interested in, where you can change out the different components and stuff, I don't see it happening, Lewis.
So you think that gamers, your typical gamer, is like so into sort of tinkering with their stuff, it becomes like, shopping for the latest, greatest GPU is almost like a hobby. And you're like, oh, wow, this new thing, I can't wait to try this. I mean, like, I know some dart players who constantly buying new darts, right? Because somebody just released a new one, and it's like that's their hobby is basically collecting darts. It wouldn't be the same with an eGPU, right? I mean, because you get a new one and then you, I guess, sell the old one. But
yeah, man, it's a whole culture. It's PC master race. Have you ever heard that phrase used? PC master race. It's a whole culture of people who just love to tinker and build their own thing. They think all other gaming experiences are a waste of time. Like consoles and all that nonsense. It's like they just want to have their PC with their keyboard. They want their keyboard to sound and feel a specific way. They want specific gaming mice. They want RGB lighting all over everything. It's like, dude, it's a whole lifestyle, man. And I gotta say, as someone who came from a PC background, and I still have a great love for PC in many ways, and the culture of it, it's just cool to keep track of like which CPUs are the most powerful, what's happening in the GPU space. I mean, there are entire channels on YouTube that are just dedicated to GPU news. That's all they do. And try out different GPUs and benchmark them, and so
my God,
there's so much tinkering. It's like cars. Like, there's so much tinkering that's possible to make a really fast system, to make your system beautiful, and you have RGB lighting. There probably is RGB lighting, available out there. But that's what I would say.
That's a way better analogy, actually, because I know people like that. They're constantly working on their cars. They're constantly making them better.
Yeah,
and it just becomes like an obsession, right? I mean, it's your hobby is making this thing better. And I couldn't be further from that. Like, when it comes to a computer, I'm perfectly happy with a MacBook Air. I don't need to change anything. I don't want to change anything. I want it to work the same way every day. I want it to be reliable. I want it to be like a hammer. I don't need it to be a steam hammer.
I feel the same way. That's why a MacBook Pro is my main machine. But there are also some things about a PC. I mean, especially once they started coming out with all this really cool RGB technology where it's built into the motherboard. There are lights that you can plug in. They'll synchronize with your fan RGB lights, and you can have your whole PC matching in color, or you have like colors like vibrating through.
Yeah, I've seen this stuff. I know, it's crazy.
And I wish I could show you all the Cult Commander that I use to stream the show. I'm trying to redo the Cult Command Center, as you can kind of see from the chaos behind me, so I can feature it on my table instead of having it under my desk, which is a total tragedy because of how beautiful it is. So it's beauty and power, man. It's just like a car. It's exactly like a car. It's like beauty and power. It's like you love the way it runs, you love the way it looks, tinker a little bit here and there, and you have something that you love to look at, and it's also super powerful. And plus, there's just a lot of things that PCs are just better at, like streaming content online. You can do it on a Mac, you can make it work, but you'll sound like you have an Apache helicopter taking off. The fans will be spinning so hot. And on a PC, like, my PC barely notices that the stream is going. And you can farm out a lot of tasks now from your CPU to your GPU because they're building in all these like cool streaming technologies into the new NVIDIA graphics cards. So anyway, I'm sure I'm boring a lot of people. This is a Mac or an Apple podcast. You guys aren't here to hear me talk about PC Master Race. In fact, I should probably see myself out.
What is that?
PC Master Race. It's like a meme. It's something that people say to communicate the supremacy of the PC. Like, there's just nothing better for gaming than a PC. The mouse and the keyboard and building a tower, and there are consoles that you can buy to game on, but they are in no way to be compared to a PC, which is the best that you could have.
I see.
You know what I mean? All right, Lewis.
No. Gotta pay something off, buddy.
What do we do?
When's the best time to buy a Mac?
Oh, did I forget that
You
part?
almost forgot about that.
Well, it's not in the
didn't you?
show notes.
I know
So
it was not in the show notes.
Okay, well,
but
I'm
it's
gonna
in the
let-
story.
It's a good thing that I turned off the music because I was ready to roll us out of here.
I
but-
know. I saw that.
So I'm leaving it to you to cover that part.
Very disturbed. So Millet, the guy that this interview was with, he answers an age-old question: when's the best time to buy a new Mac these days? You want to know what he said? I'm guessing you do.
I think he said every day.
This is a quote. I really, with full sincerity, believe now is always a good time. Nobody should be shy about it.
Spoken like a true Apple executive. Now was a great time. What about right now? In fact, I have this credit card reader here with
I
me.
was going to say exactly.
And if you get your iPhone out, I accept Apple Pay, and we can make this transaction right now. And TC was in the background, and he was grinning satisfactorily. All right, Lewis.
Yeah. Anyway,
now it's really the time to end the show.
there you go.
I mean, and what a perfect way to end with that extra edition. All right, all. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. That's right. I'm ready to roll. My voice is done. I'm toast.
Out.
But you know what? The fun continues on Twitter where I don't have to talk. I can just be witty in text form, which is arguably where I'm at my best. I'm at Airfon, ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening and for watching live. And we'll see you guys. Where's my end button? Next time. Adios, amigos, indeed. Level Remix wants a very vigorous. Yeah. There you go, my friend. And Lewis, I don't want to hear nothing about it. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. I know the end part of the show is the most well liked, so let us know with your thumbs up as you leave. And maybe if we get enough likes, we'll come back. How about that, Lewis? If we get enough likes at the end of the show, then we'll actually stop the end of the show and start it over again.
That sounds just like a genius move.
It's like a choose your own adventure book. It's like you thought the show was over, but your applause was so raucous that we came back for an encore.
I was thinking if there's enough likes, we'll come back next week and do the podcast again.
There you go. That's even better. If we get enough likes, we'll be back next Thursday for even more show. I think our likes have doubled. They've gone up 100% at this point.
So we're two, huh?
It just dropped. Oh, man. We better get out of here while we still can. Bye, y'all.